One of my best memories growing up in Minnesota and attending church every Sunday came every spring, and it was always Palm Sunday. It was really the one time of the year that my congregation, which did not really exhibit very formal rituals, would do something very ritualized, and that was the procession with the palms. We would start at the parking lot of the elementary school, which was about 2 blocks away. Each of us would get a palm frond, and we would walk to the church building on the street, singing All Glory, Laud, and Honor, and Ride on in Majesty, as many times as we needed to get into the church building. Being Minnesota, there were a couple of years, not very many, where we were unable to do this because of the weather. You don't want people outside when it's icy or snowy, turning Palm Sunday into an injury-causing parade. It wasn't until I was in high school that I actually saw in person what a palm tree looked like when I was visiting on choir tour in Florida. But we still used palms, gathered in community, and sang in celebration of Christ's triumphant entry into the city of Jerusalem. Our Palm Sundays have changed. In fact, last year at this time, it was when most congregations had stopped meeting in person, and the large processions and large gatherings singing All Glory, Laud, and Honor and other Palm Sunday hymns did not occur. Many congregations will continue to alter their Palm Sunday practices this year because the pandemic is still spiking in some places. So what is Palm Sunday? How do we engage in Palm Sunday, especially in those places where palm branches may not be native? Where I am here in California, although there's not a palm tree that I can see right near me, there are palms a couple of blocks away. Certainly in Southern California, palm trees would be more evident. So join me in this video as we take a look at Palm Passion Sunday and what it means during this pandemic. As we enter Holy Week with Palm Sunday being at the beginning, we'll start seeing a more chronological approach of the liturgical year trying to match the texts of the Gospels. And so Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem, which the Gospel writers take a great length to connect with prophecies in the Hebrew Bible, appears in all 4 Gospels. In the Synoptic tradition, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, you have a more extended story toward the end of the Gospel, because this is the culmination of Jesus' kind of pre-crucifixion ministry in Jerusalem. In John, it appears almost, a little bit after halfway through the Gospel. John also has the shortest one, and it's usually not read with the procession of palms because it's not in the ABC of the Revised Common Lectionary. But what's helpful is John's text, starting in chapter 12, gives us part of the context for Holy Week, Holy Monday, Holy Tuesday, and Holy Wednesday, which we'll read from John's Gospel, culminating in John 13 with the foot washing on Maundy Thursday. As with most of the ritual practices for Holy Week and Easter, we're really beholden to the traditions in Jerusalem, especially in the 4th and 5th century. If you think about it, it's where it all happened. So it would make sense that the churches in Jerusalem would really do up the ritual because you are in the exact place that these things, when they happened originally in the Gospels. And for these rituals in Jerusalem, we are able to look at the writings of Egeria. Egeria was a Spanish nun. She went on pilgrimage to the Holy Land, stayed there for pretty much an entire year, and then went back to her religious community. She recorded everything she saw in her diary or her travelogue, and it gives us some of the best descriptions of what ritual around the liturgical year looked like in Jerusalem, and these practices, of course, would spread throughout the Christian world. So specifically for what we would call Palm Sunday, this is what she writes. Sunday is the beginning of the Easter week, or as they call it here, the Great Week. Sunday, the bishop and all the peoples rise from their places and start off on foot down from the summit of the Mount of Olives. All the people go before him with psalms and antiphons, all the time repeating, "Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord." So here we have an early depiction of a Palm Sunday processional. The bishop taking on the role of Christ, and all the worshipers in the area taking the role of the townspeople, using that line from the Psalms, "Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord," and other psalms and antiphons, short verses that make sense, that would be proclaimed during that time. One would imagine the word Hosanna would also appear. What is interesting to note here is that there are no ritual objects yet at play, no palms on Palm Sunday yet. While Egeria does not actually describe the palms, we do know that around that time, palms did make an entry with Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem around the 4th century. And these, of course, if you think about the Holy Land, there are palm branches everywhere because there are palm trees everywhere. And so it was things that had fallen off the trees or something very easy to grasp. If you think about the text from the Gospels themselves, the palm branches took the place of the royal banners that would accompany a king or queen as they came into a city. And really the idea of the turning us over, that something as common and everyday and even discarded as a palm branch serves as a royal banner for the coming of Christ into Jerusalem. So they were meant to be ordinary. They were meant to be common in whatever you could find. By the 6th century, we see texts for the blessing of the palms, texts somewhat similar to what we do in our current rite themselves. Well, this works in Jerusalem. This works in the Mediterranean world. This works in California, where I physically am right now, where you have palm branches easily accessible. Well, prior to international commerce, what did other Christians do? Well, we know in Northern Europe, where you didn't have palms, it was too cold, and there was no way to get palms fresh, you would use any sort of green or blossoming branch in your Palm Sunday processional. So beech and boxwood were used in England. The pussy willows with the catkins were used in Germany. And again, this is because these were just what you could find. And I think that can help us as we look at what does it mean to celebrate or to commemorate Palm Sunday during this time of the pandemic, where it may not be possible for us to gather in person in the congregation, or it may not be possible for us to get the palm branches shipped to us. As you remember from the video outside, I mean, although there were palm branches visibly where I was, I could see them, you couldn't see them in the video, but I have lots of other bushes and trees around here. Taking a cue from what other Christians did, it would be just to use the everyday branches that you had. Evergreens, for those in climates that do not have trees that are budding or blossoming yet, or just your bushes or your trees. Again, the idea is not so much that it's palm on Palm Sunday, but really it's that it's common resources from creation, things that we often overlook or take for granted, that become those royal banners as we remember Christ entering into Jerusalem. As I mentioned in the first part of the video, one of my vivid memories of Palm Sunday was being in procession, and specifically singing the hymn, All Glory, Laud, and Honor. And this text was written in the 8th century. It is specific for Palm Sunday. It really expands on the gospel accounts of Palm Sunday. And really about how the different practices of Palm Sunday, the waving of the branches, the gathering together, all give glory to God as Jesus triumphantly enters Jerusalem. The text, or the tune that we have in ELW, which is the tune that has been associated with it since the 19th century, is in a common meter, not common meter itself, but is in a familiar meter, 7/6/7/6D. So if there was desire to change the music, it could be, because that tune meter is very familiar. In the new All Creation Sings hymnal, there are 2 additional Palm-specific or Palm Sunday-specific texts. One is Pave the Way with Branches by Brett Hesla to a singable tune. And the second really is a musical version of Psalm 118, Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord, the tune written by Nate Hogue, who happens to have been the music director when I was in campus ministry at the University of Minnesota. So it was good to see his music come back after I had not thought about it for almost 2 decades. So it may be that while we're celebrating during this time in pandemic, that either the full All Glory, Laud, and Honor could be sung as a family or a household, or one of these new texts could be sung, or taking a page out of Egeria's playbook from what she experienced in Jerusalem, to just use various psalms and antiphons as we gather to remember Christ's entry into Jerusalem to be a different kind of king, and to look ahead to what will happen toward the end of the week. So we see that the full name of Palm Sunday is actually Palm Sunday, Sunday of the Passion, or vice versa. And we can recall, if you look at the Palm Sunday liturgy as you find it in LBW or ELW or in other worship resources, you almost encounter liturgical whiplash, where the very first part of the day or the liturgy is very joyous and celebratory, people waving their palm branches, singing your hymns, being in procession, and then boom, once you get into the church, the mood or the style takes on a very different appearance and sound, because now you're doing the Passion reading. Well, how did the Passion reading, which we usually get from John's Gospel on Good Friday, end up on Palm Sunday? And this was because of the tradition that happened in Rome. In Rome, on Passion Sunday, was more Passion Sunday than Palm Sunday, you had the chanting of the entire Passion Gospel from Matthew by 3 ministers in 3 different tones, one being Jesus, one being the narrator, and one serving in the minor parts. So somewhat similar to the communal readings that you might experience today. These 2 traditions of Passion Sunday and Palm Sunday come together through various liturgical reforms. Since we're in the pandemic, and you may be worshiping at home or in your small vaccinated bubble, or in a household or a small group, it may be more appropriate to focus on Palm Sunday on Sunday and really hold off on the Passion until Good Friday. Really allow Holy Week to flow or to unfold sequentially as it does in the Gospels, so that each day of Holy Week, Sunday with the Palms, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday reading from John 12 and 13,
Monday, Thursday with John 13, Good Friday with the Passion from John, and then the Vigil and Easter, really to allow the story to unfold in a daily manner during this great and holy week.